Hello, listeners and fellow Game Pass fans. Get yourself set and ready for your favourite unofficial Game Pass podcast, Game Pass News. So I'll hand you over to Nick and Sean and get the show started.
Welcome to Game Pass News, recorded live Tuesday, June 13th. I'm Nintendo. My co-host Sean Abbott and I are about to fill your brain with all this week's bits and bobs of Xbox, like a bazillion games that just got announced, maybe for 2024. That's probably not a problem, though, because I got 2 games that I'm going to be playing for the rest of the year. Sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass News is one crazy ride.
Let's look at the funk.
Let's look at the funk, Sean. How you been, man?
What the funk? Yeah, I've been good. Still digesting this weekend's showcase. A lot to go on there, a lot to talk about, a lot to think about. So, also a lot of stuff you can spend a lot of money on. So,
yeah, I'm like $80 in already. Yes, and I got Game Pass. These games are supposed to be free. What just happened? What just happened? You suckered me in, Xbox. Good job, and I appreciated it. I appreciated all of it. That is true. There's a lot that you can buy and do. Man. Okay, hold on. We're not there yet. Okay, all right. The train. We gotta slow the train down because I could have jumped right in right there and just done it. So like, how is life though? How is your
pretty good.
As a DK, thank you, Tyler, for subscribing. And wait, it worked. Why does it work sometimes and not others? I have no idea, but thank you for subscribing, sir. I really appreciate you.
So how's life? What day are we on?
It's Tuesday. That was in the intro. Come on.
Since last time we spoke, not a lot's happened. We have a health update in terms of I had a phone call from my doctor today, and I've now started the tablets to hopefully help me feel less old and achy.
Nice.
So that's an upshot. And if you want a green car update, that's been booked in to have some of its wheels aligned because one of them isn't quite as it should be. I noticed while I was driving it the other day. So.
No air conditioning update though. That's still.
No, we're still like... windows down and drive fast.
Head out the window with your tongue out.
Yeah, Ace Ventura style.
That's right. So, I love it.
Everything's good. Lindsay's deep into a new job at the high school now, so she's enjoying it, but also realizing that kids aged like 13 to 15 are absolute little shits.
Yeah.
The older end, the 15 and 16-year-olds, which like how the UK school system works is we do it in years, and high school starts at year 7 and you finish high school in year 11. So, and she's like the year 7, 8, and 9, which is like 12, 13, and 14. If you want to like think of kids' ages, because they are just little shits basically, and they have no respect for anybody, and like not happy at all with how they treat other people. But like then the older ones, which you'd have thought would have been the ones that have more sass about them, are actually nicer to teach. So, but yeah, she's enjoying that. She's doing a lot of walking. She walks to and from work, so that's like a 45-minute walk there and back every. So, but yeah, but the sun's shining in the UK. It's currently 24 degrees in the living room.
Nice.
Even though it's nighttime now. So, but yeah, how about you? You're all back from the holiday. Obviously, the washing has started.
Yeah. Man, it was fantastic. It was a great holiday. Went on a cruise to Bermuda, came back. Feel really blessed to have done that. Shared it with the kids this time, which was great. Like, I mean, it was just absolutely fantastic. They went on their first plane ride, obviously the first big boat ride. I mean, it was like everything was a first for them. Like they were first time on a train, or not a train, but first time to be on a subway. First time on a real bus system. Like they've been on a bus before, but never like a public transportation. Get on bus 2A and hop off on, So yeah, and God bless them, they did so good. Like we woke them up Thursday morning at 1 in the morning. And I thought they'd sleep, but they did not. They did not. We got them in the car. We drove to Detroit. We flew out to Newark. They slept a little bit in Newark on the way to Newark, not much. Then we got to Boston and dragged them to their Airbnb, and they crashed for an hour, and then we dragged them back out into Boston because we were like, listen, we only got half a day here. You're going to see something in Boston. We're not going to just spend a night and not show you something. So we went to see the USS Constitution. It was fantastic. Ate at the Levain Bakery. Great cookies if you've ever ate there. They're in New York too. That might have been where they started, and then they migrated down to Boston. I'm not really sure. I don't know, but the cookies are great. They're like, I don't know, they're like baseball sized cookies. And so yeah, it's fantastic. We had a absolute great time. I will not go any further into that. Hey, is it Father's Day over there? I know you guys are not on Mother's Day with us. Like you guys are like, no, we're not doing that. But do we have Father's Day together?
This Sunday is Father's Day for us.
Okay. Because when is your Mother's Day?
It's a good question. But it's been and gone. It's already been and gone. So.
Yeah, well, ours has too. But ours is in May. Yours is in like April, right?
April. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not
March. March 19th.
March. Okay. I knew we were not on with Mother's Day, but we are on Father's Day. So you doing anything for anybody, or are you doing anything for your dad, or are they doing anything for you, or is it anything?
So there's a funny story. We've got a few days, so yeah, I won't spoil anything. So my mother and father have like you guys call them an RV, but we call them a motorhome basically here. So Mercedes
flip and flop. We flip and flop. Your motorhome is not like an abnormal term, but yeah, motorhome, RV, either one.
So when my dad retired, he bought one of those for himself because he likes to do a lot of fishing and he likes to do a lot of like recreational vehicling, basically. And they went away last weekend, and I called my mum and I was like, "How's your holiday going? Are you having a nice time? How's the weather?" She's like, "Oh yeah, it's okay. I haven't seen your dad since this morning. He's gone off fishing. He just gives me a phone call every like half an hour, 45 minutes to bring him a cup of tea to the lake." And I was like, really? Why has he not bought himself a decent travel flask or a decent travel cup so like if he forgets to drink his tea while he's fishing, it's still warm? And she was like, "Oh, well, he's never got any that he likes, and blah blah blah, and he always complains that they don't keep his drinks warm enough." So I was like, right, okay, I know I'm going to get him this Father's Day. So I bought him the Yeti Rambler, the 20-ounce Yeti Rambler. So it's like it's like a pint and a bit more of tea.
Those things are nice too. Those things are real nice.
Yeah, somebody mentioned it to me that he made. So we live. So Aviemore, which is an area in Scotland, a really nice area that I haven't yet been to, but I'm going to soon, hopefully, to do some mountain biking. There's a guy that I work with that went up there while we had some snow to do some snowboarding, and he was like, I set off from where we live in Selby. It's a 6-hour drive, and he says, I made myself a cup of tea in this thing. He says, I put it on the dashboard, and I set off driving. And he said, like, after an hour and a half, I went to try and drink some, and it was like scalding hot. I couldn't like drink it without burning my mouth. And he said, so I put it back on the dashboard. He said, I completely forgot about it. He said, he got to Aviemore, which is like 6.5 hours away, and it was still just a little bit too hot to drink. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
so it cost me 30 pounds, but it's well worth it, because then that means that my mum can be left alone. Really, she's away on holiday.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to keep trundling on down to this. So,
and God bless her, by the way, because if I was like fishing and every 30 minutes, which I don't fish, but let's just say I did, but every 30 minutes I called Becca and I was like, "Hey, I need a cup of tea." She'd be like, "You man, you better truck your ass up here and go get it."
So I bought the cup for my dad, but hopefully that relieves my mother a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a twofer. You'd be like, "Listen, this is for you for Mother's Day too, Ma. Okay, this is a twofer here. Okay."
But now I'm working the Saturday into the Sunday night, so I'll be coming home, grabbing a couple of hours sleep, getting up, and then Lindsay asked, like, "Do you want to do anything? Do you want to go out somewhere? Do you want to do this?" I said, "Well, we could do something, but like, it all depends on how much sleep I've had to how I'll feel about doing something." So I said, I'm quite happy to just kind of chill out at home, have a bit of like, if the weather's nice, we'll put some meat on the barbecue and like have a little bit of barbecue food and just kind of chill out. So
You poor sap. Every time I'm like, so what are you doing for this holiday? You're like, yeah, I'm working. I feel like there's like hardly ever a holiday where you're like, yeah, we're all just getting together and I'm not working. And it's like, what are you doing this holiday? I'm working.
Yeah, it comes with a territory of working shifts, unfortunately. Like for 3 or 4 years running out every major holiday kind of thing, I'll end up working, and then it'll have a spell of 2 or 3 years where I won't. So
All right. Well, I look forward to those 2 years for you, pal.
so what about you? Have you got anything anything planned?
Yeah, so I was nice, and well, me and my father-in-law were nice, and sharing our day with my daughter, whose birthday was actually on the cruise, but the family was like, no, we need June 8th, and they're like, no, we want to celebrate her birthday too, and so I was like, all right, fine, they were like, maybe we could do it this Saturday and Sunday, and I was like, no, that doesn't make no sense. Let's just celebrate it all one day. So we're gonna have Ariel's birthday, my daughter, and then we're gonna celebrate Father's Day. We love as a family to buy at Aldi's. Do you have an Aldi's over there? Is that
Oh,
no.
spell that because
ALDIS?
Yeah, so Aldi.
Aldi. Oh, is it Aldi? Is that how? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the I can't remember whereabouts it is in the world, but I think it's Swedish, are they, with the colours?
I don't know. We call them Aldi. At least my family does. I don't know. I'm gonna poll somebody around here and be like, am I saying this wrong, or So anyways, they sell these pizza doughs that are it's just like a ball of dough that you then make into a pizza, and it's like basically fresh dough. So what we're doing, because we had a compromise with Ariel, obviously we're like, well, what do you want? This is what we want, and she was like, well, what about pizza from Pizza Hut? And I was like, no, I'm not doing Pizza Hut pizza. I'm sorry, I have my limits. I love you, but I have my limits. And then I was like, but wait, there's the so what we're doing is like a bring your own topping pizza deal, and we're all going to be. And I worked at Papa John's for like 2 years, kind of like a franchise chain. So I love like flipping the dough and stretching it out and doing all that. I just still really like doing that. That was basically my I think that was the only position I ever worked in those 2 years. I would only work like 3 days a week because I was in college. But yeah, for like 6 hours straight when I went in there, basically they would just be like, go in that corner and make pizza dough.
Flip dough.
Yeah, flip dough. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Just stretch it out and throw it up in the air and put it on a pan.
So the doughs that you get, are they the ones in like the really long rectangle style box?
Nope. These are just this is literally like a softball size, like round piece of dough that you then have to flour and stretch out and put on a pan and kind of do that. And so
I see. I don't think we get those here. I mean, obviously, I have the Aldi's where we do our weekly shop. So
okay,
it interests me sometimes that we have like similar shops, but I don't think they have those. They come in and it's like a pre-rolled, it's pre-stretched and pre-done, or just rolled up with like a baking paper. So you just roll it out flat, and it just ends up being a rectangle piece.
Yeah, and we have some of those as well.
Cool. But yeah, we like when we do a pizza night mailings, we'll get one of those, we'll split it in half, we pick our own toppings, and it's kind of like we try and that's our kind of pizza night. But yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. A spoiler alert: I have to get my shocked face ready, Sean, for Sunday. I already know I'm getting the Starfield controller because I actually ordered it and then asked my wife if she would pick it up and wrap it, and she was so glad. She was like, I had no idea what to get you, so that's fantastic. So I got to be ready to like open up like, oh my gosh, thank you. I always wanted this, at least since Sunday. I definitely always wanted this since last Sunday. So
I mean, I've the fine details of that controller are really nice, and I'm kind of hoping that when you get it, some of the descriptions on the buttons make sense. Linked to like how the
Yeah, I totally think they will. I think that, if they don't, that's a real miss. Like, because I mean, it's literally like throttle up, throttle down. Like, if the throttle's like over on the other side of the controller, I'm like, what the hell are you people thinking? So I'm like, would you let your 5-year-old just scribble on it? Just like, so if they don't, I'll be like, wow, that was lame. But either way, it looks cool, and yeah, I am probably overly sold on this game already. So I was like, yeah, I was looking for another controller anyways to replace my just like bland white one that I have from the S. So I'll sell that one and recoup some money. Well, not recoup some money, just get some more money because it's a gift. And so really excited. But anyways, that's enough about this stuff. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We spent probably way too much time. Talk about a Twitch contest, Sean. What's this Twitchy contest thing you were doing here?
So I did a countdown to the showcase every day, and on the last day before the countdown, I stuck the image up. I'm going to go to the Twitter page now while I talk about it, and I'll pin it. So just like we did with the Twitter contest, where if you follow, commented, retweeted, and left us a joke, you kind of got an entry to everything. If you go to our Twitch channel, like I said, TKO3 has already done at the start of the show, the winner from the previous contest, and you follow us, or are already following us. I need to look into how we look at how I track that. You automatically get an enter, and if you subscribe to our Twitch channel within the month of June, or are already subscribed, I think Bruce asked the question of this. If you are already subscribed, but your subscription runs out at the end of June, you can still be counted for an extra 5 entries. And then just like last time, we'll tally them all up. Lucky dip, pick a number with Nick's awesome number generator that he uses every time. And then the winner of that gets 3 months of Game Pass.
There it is. So yeah, follow us. That's free. That's one free. Gives you a shot. That's all we need. That helps us out. It kind of boosts our ratings. But if you are so kind, and if you have Prime, if you have Prime subscription, you can use your Prime subscription. I don't care. I don't even know if I know whether it's Prime or not Prime, to be honest. But I do know, I have already looked, Sean, and we can figure out like who's subbing us and who's following us. I already looked at all that.
Yep.
So do that, and we would be ever grateful, and it'll get you in for a chance for another 3 months. And you know, if you win this 3 months, you're gonna have, my math is right. 7 July. Yeah, you'll have a month of Starfield. You have a month of Starfield right there. So you know,
which is either going to be a month to get absolutely hooked, and then you'll end up spending $7.99 a month at minimum for PC Game Pass, or $11.99 for Ultimate, to then have to play it for the rest of your life, because I have a feeling that's how long this game's going to last.
Well, you know, the good thing is, Sean, with that month of Game Pass, they should be out of the tutorial. So that'll be great for me, you know? It just should be, that's what I assume. They'll make it out of the tutorial in that month.
Disclaimer, don't come at us if you're not.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's right. Yeah. This is not, that's great. No, good way to go, Legal. Yeah, we are not saying for sure you'll be out of the tutorial. We're just thinking maybe it might happen. All right, that's enough of this. Let's get into the X feed and start this goldarn. X feed, first thing on the top stories. This is not a good start, Sean, but we're gonna start here. Starfield gets 30 FPS lock. Why does nobody seem to care, Sean? Why is there nobody in the why isn't Twitter on fire about this when they were for Redfall? That's what I want to know.
Because people now getting used to it.
Maybe.
Is it one of those things where the gameplay we saw, if that was in-game footage captured on the Series X, which is at 4K 30 frames a second, are people not bothered because it still looked like it ran well?
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah.
I was one of those people that was really bothered that Redfall was going to come out and it was going to be at 30 frames a second and it was going to look all janky, and we were going to you were going to miss sections of the game, or you were going to the combat sections of things wasn't going to be as fluid as it showed off. But when it actually came out, it was great. There was more bugs in how the game played, not how the game played, but in like how the game loaded and how certain things happened
Mm-hmm.
compared to how the game actually ran at 30 frames per second. So are people just genuinely not that bothered? Are we slowly beginning to see people figuring out that 30 frames a second for a single player game basically doesn't really matter?
Yeah, that really could be. It's either that, Sean. Well, it's either that or a combo of these, which is that people saw that gameplay and they were like, "F it, I don't care. That game's absolutely." You know, Redfall was kind of more on the fence, right? They saw it and people were like, "I don't know. It could be good. It could be trash." But I think people, I mean, that game showed darn well in that direct. I mean,
Yeah.
I was on the fence, and now I am probably more sold than I should be. And so maybe it's either people are getting used to it and they're like whatever, or they just they think the game's going to be so awesome they're willing to overlook it and not care, not make a fuss about
I
it.
mean, what they're saying is that the designers behind it have said that they've managed to get it to run above 30 frames a second during development, but to have consistency and be able to say, you're going to consistently have the same level of frame rate throughout your gameplay, and it's never going to like jump up and down, and you'll be laggish and awful or anything like that. They've kind of said they're going to lock it at 30 frames a second just to make sure there's consistency across the board with the game. That doesn't mean as things come or there's patches or there's way around that they might unlock the 60 frames, but
yeah
So,
I agree.
you're going to get it at 1440 at 30 frames a second on your Series S, and I'm going to get it at 4K on the Series X, which I can't say I'm not going to notice it. So just look at just looking at how the gameplay footage was, and because they've had the whole scenario with Redfall, are they gonna is the stuff that they're saying when it's in-game footage, is that true? Is that exactly what we see? Is that what we're gonna get? So
If it's not, they're stupid. If they didn't learn from this, they're stupider than I already thought they were. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
They're double stupid. Stupid. Hey,
but, I mean,
Johnny.
you asked a really good question when I sent you the link to this 30 frames per second fix. I did this. It was Monday morning for me, so it would have been like late Sunday for you. You asked a really good question of, are we seeing the game engines outperforming the current generation of consoles and what they can handle?
Yeah, I mean, so the question is, when we came into this gen, were we, and I'm trying to remember, were we promised 60 frames a second on these games? Like were they like, in this gen you're gonna get 4K and 60 frames per second, and you're gonna get the shiny ray traciness, and it's gonna be amazing? Like, or
Well,
we
yeah,
just
because-
like 60 frames per second is what we assume we're gonna get, so let's get it. Like I don't remember. I don't remember. It's all blurred to me, Sean.
But we've had games that released prior to this generation of console, Doom Eternal, that have then had the upgrades to take them to 60 frames a second 4K with ray tracing. Like, they purposely went and said, like, made a whole sing and dance on Twitter, like, hey, yeah, we're doing this, and you're getting we're pushing a patch to take it up to this and do this, and it's going to be able to compete with games that are going to come out in this generation for how it looks. And then, like, we've kind of gone from releasing patches for previous games to then bringing games out and being like, okay, we're going to have to dumb this game down because the console can't handle it, like, consistently. So,
yeah, well, Sean,
I mean,
it was a patch for those previous games. So in 2 years, Starfield will get a 60 frames per second patch. I mean, you people should be used to this by now. Come on, this should be like, feels like I thought everybody realized this is how this was going to work. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did ask that question. I do wonder, have we already maxed out this hardware? Like is the X already like, well, that's all I can do with that sucker, I mean, this game's large, I get it, but 125 gigabytes large, by the way. It just came out. So I'm gonna have to like shovel some stuff off of my old S and try to figure it out.
You buy the Black S?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I don't know. Oh, Hambone Johnny comes out. He'd prefer 500 less planets and more frames. There you go. You
So like half the game, you want to cut the game in half because
Uh-huh.
there's 1,000 planets, and then have more frames. Yeah.
You know, Hambone Johnny will have seen all 1,000 planets by the second day that this game drops because he just somehow is able to do this shit. He's like, I beat that game already. I'm like, really? That's amazing because somehow I have not made it off.
I've just removed the
Yeah.
slip around the game that says Xbox. Fought through the sticker that they put in the side of the console box. I'd be like sticky, tearing through that.
We love
the
you,
pumpkin.
man.
The Pumpkin King will probably have
Yeah.
rolled credits on this game before I get anywhere near the exit tutorial.
I'll be like, Sean, how do you fly the ship? Hambone Johnny's like, beat it, 100%. See you later. I'm on to the next thing. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. Good for you. Sleep deprivation. That's his how. Okay. All right. Well, hey, I might have to join you on that one. If I want to be TOTK before this game comes out, I'm probably gonna have to jump on the bandwagon of sleep deprivation. I can tell you that much. Yeah. No, I do think it's an interesting discussion of why are these games not reaching 60 frames per second.
Well, for me, we like everything used to run on the Unreal 4 engine. I mean, was it Snowflake or Snowdrop? I can't remember what the engine is that the Tom Clancy games ran on, but they were like Unreal 4, and I think it was Snowflake engine were like the big gaming engines to be using at the time. Snowflake one had all the real time light movement and stuff like that, depending on what the sun and all the lighting was during the day on games. Where Unreal 4 was just great at handling mass amounts of data moving around on the screen at once. And as the Series X, S, the PS5 were all released and dropped, we saw the Unreal 5 engine being previewed and tested. And then literally within 6 months of it being previewed and tested, we were literally seeing it in games and people were like, yeah, this is where it's going. So yeah, I think the software behind gaming is moving quicker than the hardware behind gaming at the moment. And the only PC players are obviously able to keep up because you can just put a bigger, better graphics card in there with more cooling and more power. You can do this, you can do that. Well, when you buy a console, there's no way of upgrading that. You're stuck. You can stick a solid state hard drive in to make the hard drive big, but you can't go and get like the N64 did with the expansion pack. You can't go and buy an expansion pack to stick in the back of your Series X console to up the power.
Do we need midlife upgrades? Like, I mean, do a mid-gen upgrade? I mean, is that? I don't. Let me answer this for me. I don't. I do not care. I said it about Redfall. I'll say it about this. I do not care. I do not care about these frames per second. God bless y'all. I do not care about these frames per second. But if you do, then for those people who do, which for Redfall, it seemed like everybody on Twitter cared. For Starfield, it seems like 10% care. It's a very funny dichotomy. So either nobody cares about Starfield, everybody cared about Redfall. I don't know. It's very funny. But I think Starfield's kind of a golden child right now, and nobody wants to shit on it. Nobody wants to shit on a golden child. I don't know. You have to go with that. But for those people who do want frames per second, do they need a mid-gen upgrade?
Yeah, but I don't know how that would look because you couldn't redesign the Series X. I don't think you could squeeze any more in it. When you open this up, this thing has got huge amounts of cooling in there. So to try and either stick extra graphics processing in it and still have the cooling capabilities it's got. Same with the PlayStation 5. With the hot weather that we're having with the UK, it's gone from 15 degrees every day to Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius every day within the space of a weekend. There's the UK Gaming Dads Facebook group that I'm in. There's guys on there that have had to strip the console down, clean it all inside, buy extra cooling fans and redesign where their console is because the PS5s have been turning off randomly because the temperature's too high. So,
Crazy. Huh.
I mean, UK homes are built to keep heat in. That's what we do because we spend most of our life freezing cold and piss wet through. So when it gets to summer, it's just unreal. It's like that the inside of my house is now warmer than the outside of the house, and I've not had the heating on all day. So they some people do struggle with it. I mean, I don't. The console my console sits in the worst place in the world ever. It sits behind the TV. Um, you know, so, but I've never struggled. I've never had the red ring
Yeah.
of death with the 360. The Xbox One never crapped out because of temperatures, which was some units did have that issue. But like the Series X just runs, it just sits there, and it's like you can tell when it's turned on, because if there's ever any banners, like any bunting above the TV for like birthdays and like holidays and stuff, you can see the bunting just moving from the thermal uplift from the Series X behind the TV. But yeah, to try and have a mid-gen console, you're gonna have to either have a bigger unit, or it's gonna have to look different, like more drastically different than just changing the color, like they have with the carbon black Series S. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting that I think everybody did expect that everything that came out new current gen would be 60 frames per second, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So I think it will be interesting to see. I don't think it's going to make a difference for me. I mean, what I don't understand is Tears of the Kingdom is 30 frames per second, and it seems just fine. Like I don't under I probably am dumb and don't understand the frames per second thing like I should, or enough.
See, frames per
yeah.
second for me only really matters if you are playing against other people. The refresh rate is all that matters for me. So if you're playing Call of Duty Warzone and you're an Xbox player who's still on the Xbox One, say, and you aren't getting the full frames per second, so you aren't getting the refresh rate, where somebody on a PC at the other end of the world is currently running it on something that's handling 120 frames per second without even breaking a sweat or using half the amount of GPU that it's got. They're going to have an advantage because their refresh rate on their screen is going to be better than you. So those half seconds where you're kind of like spotting an enemy and reacting is massive. It's huge. It's a huge difference. So for PvP stuff, yeah, frames per second really counts. For single player games like this, like I saw with Redfall, and we played together with Redfall, there was no issue with the fact that you were on a Series S in America and I was on a Series X in the UK, and everything worked. It ran like absolutely seamlessly. So Starfield for me as a single player game is going to run really, really well. It looked great during the showcase, which they can't now lie to us and say, this is what it's going to look like, and it come out and look like a piece of poop. So, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. 30 frames a second for Starfield. That's the conversation. Next, why don't we just keep shitting on stuff for Xbox for a while before we get into all the good stuff? Xbox Game Studios boss throwing Redfield under the bus, saying that, Arcane, I guess, under the bus, really, that they had tunnel vision on their game design. Bloomberg came out with a report also that I read a bit about that, kind of threw some shade. This is really funny. It's a real flip between what you normally get. Normally, the big parent company comes in, buys the thing, and the game gets effed up because they changed everything and made it and gave them too much and like put their thumb on the game too much and blah 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 blah. And it was like, well, we had this vision and they ripped it all to shreds. In this version, it's like, well, we really wanted them to come in and help us out, but they were like, no, just do your own thing. You're a great studio. And it's like, I'm sure if you're Xbox, you're like, I don't know, I don't care. Like either there's too much or there's not enough, or I don't know. What do we do here? So
it was Matt Booty who was the Xbox Game Studio boss, and it was during an IGN interview that he kind of turned around and said, if we were to look back, where I feel a little remiss on the Redfall thing, that project was started before we acquired ZeniMax, and we think it could have done a better job of onboarding them. So like you said, they kind of they went instead of helicopter parenting the developer, they kind of went, you do your thing, you're doing it really well, you carry on, and then so.
And then he did go on to kind of I don't know if throwing him under the buses, but sometimes he said sometimes a team can get a little bit of tunnel vision around their game, and sometimes management can have the opposite problem where maybe they're zoomed a little too far out. And it was the case of us having indicators that the game was going to perform a certain way We had people play the game. We had reviews, did mock reviews. We just had indicators that it was going to perform better than it did. And that's exactly what Phil said in his interview. He's like, man, we thought we were off by double digits of what we thought this game was going to do. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to belabor the point, but that was just, we wanted to bring that up. It was one of our top stories. So, anything else before we move on to news bulletins?
No, slide right in.
All right, Hi-Fi Rush getting a massive free update coming this July. Also, High on Knife announced for High on Life. High on Knife for High on Life coming. Do we know when that's coming? Did it say?
Not that I am aware of. I quickly flipped through it, but didn't take it all on.
Launch
it
soon.
was shown at the it was kind of shown at the extended live stream. It showcase extended live stream.
If you're like me and you've been following the Skull and Bones debacle with Ubisoft, there is going to be a live beta. If it actually happens, you never know, because they've been known to come out and announce something and then a week later just totally trash it when it comes to Skull and Bones. So, Skull and Bones is supposed to have a live beta in August, I think the 25th through the 28th. So if you're looking for something to do right before you're going to start on Starfield, you can go to their website and register to be part of that live beta. Yes, you do have to register, and then if you are the grand chosen one, they will let you know. I've registered. I haven't been told I'm the grand chosen one yet, so we'll see. Anything else on those?
No, other than I really hope Skull and Bones comes out and it does well for you, because you have that in the critic and you need it with losing games during the showcase.
That's true. Yeah. Hellblade is out for me. That's a real bummer. Also, probably what's going to happen is they're going to do the beta and they're going to be like, "Hey, the beta was great. See you in 2024." That's what I've heard. Welcome to my world. Feature story. Hey, we are into the feature story. Our main talk is this extended showcase that dropped today, June 13th. If you're listening to us live. If not, it happened a few days ago. Extended showcase. Man, these are some banger indie games. I am pumped about some of these, man. I mean, most of them are still 2024, but yet I am very excited about them.
I'd say there's more. There's out of the 13 games that dropped, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that are 2024. 2 that haven't got a release date, but I think one of them is already out and will be coming. Like, you'll see it somewhere soon, very fast.
I wish I could draw on the screen, because I would have made a Venn diagram while you did it. There's 4 over here and 2 in the middle, and then there's some over here. Welcome to the Sean and Nick Can Count.
Yeah. So, but no, I saw this pop up. Where was I? I think I was in the gym this morning, and like I got a notification from Pure Xbox, the Facebook page, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the extended showcase is today at such and such time. Make sure to check it for like extended talks about certain games and this, that, and the other." And I was kind of like, the extended showcase last time was like 4 hours long, and there was lots of people talking about lots of crap.
Yes,
that I didn't really. But then so I skipped it, and then I read through the article earlier, and I was like, "Holy crap! There is some really good games here." I wish I'd have watched it, and it was only like 2 hours long. Was it an hour?
It was an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 20 minutes. If you took out the coming the stream soon. Yeah, exactly. So let's go through some of the things. The Bookwalker Thief of Tales. This one is the narrative. Isn't this the narrative? Yeah, narrative adventure game. You can jump into different books into different book worlds and try to steal items to solve your problems and gain new abilities. But it is a narrative adventure, so I don't think there's much fighting or anything like that I could tell. But
no.
But yeah,
graphically though, if the trailer's anything to go by, graphically this looks like it'll be a really nice game to play. Be up there. I'd expect one of the devs After Dark to enjoy it in terms of the narrative aspects. So.
Yeah, for sure. And that is coming real soon, June 22nd. So you can jump on into that in just a week and some. Next, July 18th, Tectonica. a first-person factory building game set below the surface of an alien planet within a network of caverns teeming with bioluminescent life. This sounds kind of fun, to be honest. I like making a
Yeah.
factory. Like this is my kind of shtick, to be honest.
Yeah, from the trailer that I watched, it was very harvest craft, set up and maintain, and you can do this as a co-op as well. So with friends,
Yeah.
you can build factories that are automated to harvest bits and pieces.
Yeah, this looks real good. I'd like to see this. The next one. Now we knew about. We didn't know it was coming to Game Pass, but I have seen this trailer, I believe, on a Nintendo Indie World, The Wandering Village, coming July 20th. Shout out to my mom, actually. That's on her birthday. The Wandering Village. So you basically create a village, run a village. There's going to be farming aspects and all kinds of stuff. And you're on like the back of a large dinosaur leviathan type thing. He'll go to different biomes and atmospheres and stuff like that, and so it might be raining or snowing or what. Man, I want to play this one too. Will I have time? Probably not. By the way, when I say I want to play this game, that means I probably won't get to play it because I trying to beat Tears of the Kingdom before Starfield. But man, is it good! And if you have time, you should play it. That's my disclaimer. Thank you.
Oh, that's brilliant. The next game, that was well put. So the next game and everything, which comes out August 29th, is Sea of Stars, which is a turn-based RPG style game. The graphics, this is like before we started recording this evening, I kind of said to Nick, I really wish I got on with turn-based RPG games because graphically this thing looks really nice. It takes me right back to like Final Fantasies on the PlayStation and stuff like that.
Yeah, and somebody we have 6 people in chat. Somebody tell me what this. It's not Final Fantasy. What is this game like created after? I cannot think of it. I know the developer actually said it. I think in the indie world. I feel like this was like a lot of these games I've seen in the Nintendo indie world. And it's not. Is it Chrono Trigger? I knew it started with a C. Is it Chrono Trigger? Somebody help me out. Tell me yes or no. Okay, maybe not.
Possibly because I know that Chrono Trigger is like this. It's like a not quite top. Is it top down? No, not top down. Is it? It's I don't know. 45-degree down.
This is more counting with Sean and Nick. Yes, welcome. We just
Screw you.
Nick's and Sean runs power plants and Nick builds houses. Together we can do all.
We can count.
Together
but yeah.
we can count. We need to start another podcast. Together we can count. I love it.
But no, okay. If you imagine a Link to the Past, this kind of angle, that kind of actually the character build and everything.
2.5D, I believe, is what that's called.
Yeah, it's like perfect with Link to the Past style graphics, which drew me in. But the only thing that I really struggle with is the fact that it's turn-based RPG.
And to be honest, this is the one that lit the internet on fire. I mean, this like at least especially our Discord, everybody has been excited for this game when they saw it. Never in a million years did I think Game Pass would get this day one. So that is huge for them. Even if we don't play it, if it's not our cup of tea, it is a lot of people's cup of tea. So I am very excited for Game Pass and for all those people who get to play it on Game Pass.
The thing is, I'd be scared to try it as well because if it's one of those things where, like, if I on the book of looking at Mario Rabbids, I wouldn't ever play it because of if you just go for turn-based RPG style game, I would never have played it. But because it's Mario and I bought it as a gift, I played it, fell in love with it. So if I tried this and fell in love with it, I'd be really annoyed because I've got other things I need to be playing.
Yeah, especially this game comes out August 29th. So if you buy the upgrade in 2 days, you could be playing Starfield. So I would love, there would be nothing more funny to me than if I'm like, Sean, Starfield's amazing, and you're like, yeah, but Sea of Stars is great, and I'm gonna keep playing this. That would be like the most hilarious thing ever.
Brings me a question: are you gonna buy the early access to Starfield? Because this is the second time you've mentioned it now.
Am I gonna buy it? Probably. I'm such a sucker for this shit, Sean. I did it with Hogwarts too. I was like, I'm gonna go buy Hogwarts, and so I was like, 69. Oh, for $10, I can play it 3 days early. Sign me up. I'm good. Thank you. I am such a sucker for that. It's horrible. So yes, Sean. By the way, I get like, I don't know, some skins too. I like for something, I can't remember what, but no, I'm doing it for the 5 days early. Yes, I am good. 99% likely to have signed up to it. I will do the Game Pass upgrade. So yes, and yes.
Anyway,
all you people out there, don't judge me, okay? And John, don't you call me the problem again. I don't want to hear it.
Anyway, squirreling away there. The Lamplighters League, October 3rd. So obviously, if you've got sick of Starfield by this point, you know, a month later, you can start playing this. Sneak, steal, and shoot your way through a world of pulp adventure in the Lamplighters League. Globetrot across a variety of exciting locales around the world and outwit your enemies in strategic turn-based combat, which makes me fall straight off. The gameplay element of this and how it looks is great, but again, with the turn-based. This is a day one release and is coming to Game Pass.
Yeah. Next game. Okay. I have a story. I mean, this one is ridiculous. I cannot believe this. I've been following this game for half a decade, people. Moniko's Night Market. Before Animal Crossing dropped, before I even knew really who Sean was, before we started Dad Crossing, I was like, you know what? Moniko's Night Market, that's going to come out in just a little bit, and I would love to play that game. It would really fill the void of Animal Crossing for me. And now, like 5-6 years later, here we are, and it's like Animal Crossing is come and gone. We did Dad Crossing. Now we started Game Pass News. We're in the 3rd season, and now I'm gonna play it finally, maybe, hopefully, October 22nd, and it's gonna be on Game Pass. Like that's a journey, man. I can't believe it, but I also can't wait to play it. And I'm not really surprised either, because it's a Humble Game, and Humble Game and Game Pass are like they're buddies, man. Like their games come out. So yeah, I am really excited to play this game, if for no other reason than I've been following it for I've almost been following this game for my daughter, who just turned 7, for like her entire life, basically. Like,
wow.
No,
that is some following.
Not entirely. I mean, a couple years shy, but I mean, oh my gosh, it is crazy. By the way, for those people who don't know, it's a narrative game, social simulation adventure game that celebrates Japanese
Every
culture.
introvert across the internet just went, no!
And invites players to craft whimsical items, eat delicious snacks, and ultimately enjoy all the cats. So yeah, this game is it looks great. I can't wait to play.
Yep. The next game, I watched the trailer for this, and then I think you were watching it. You watched it first and was like, "This is, oh my god, it's like the private healthcare for aliens." And then I started watching it. I was like, "Oh my god, it is." But if you enjoyed 2 Point Hospital or Theme Hospital or any kind of hospital strategy game that you could play, Galactic Air is going to be up there for you. It looks like it's going to play exactly like 2 Point Hospital. Apart from its weird aliens and very weird diseases and accidents that you get to cure in this. Same style in terms of how it looks. You're coming from above. There's the strategy behind you. Going to make money. You go expand and keep expanding, and different rooms and things like that. And one of the joke lines it says is that you can decorate your rooms to help your mental health or anything else that you got. So, yeah.
Yeah, I am. And especially, it looks like it's gonna be 2 Point Hospital, but funnier. Like, it really looks like it has some serious humor behind it. So the next one is another Crab's Treasure. This one also, I mean, I just keep. They were so many of these were Nintendo Worlds. This is one I saw first on Nintendo World. I think it looks great. You're a crab, but you're like it's a Souls-like. you have to find something for your shell, and if you don't, I believe you're one hit from how it looks. It's a like one hit and you're dead. So I'm really excited to see how this game plays and how it
Like
looks. But it
Elden Ring
looks
for
so much
crabs.
fun. Yes, Elden Ring for crabs. You totally, and you use so many different things. Like there's a fork that you're using as a weapon, and then he has like a stick, and then there's like chopsticks, and you can use anything as a shell. It looks like, I mean, he's got a tin can on his butt, and then he has a mug on his butt, and I mean, oh my, a mug on your butt. I don't know. Anyways, it looks hilarious. I think it's great, and that is coming out early 2024. That's a bummer. We are now in 2024 games. If you haven't been keeping up, we're going in chronological order, from soonest to latest.
The other thing with Another Crab's Treasure, it also like it's got some form of platform
Yes, you're right.
element to the game as well. So if it kind of ticks another box for things to play. So I'm quite excited.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. I'll take you do Go Mecha and I'll do this one. Lightyear Frontier. I've been excited about this one. It now has been pushed into 2024. It was supposed to be here April of this year. But that's okay. It's not like, I have 2 games to play this year and that's all I need. And so it's a crafting game on another planet. It's kind of like a mech crafter. You're in this big robot and you can craft stuff and build different buildings. It also has a co-op thing, which I did not know about until this showcase, extended showcase. And so I'm very interested in it. Phil, get me a family plan so I can play this with my son. Okay? How many times do I need to tell you this, Phil? Get me a family plan. Thank you. Have a nice day. That's all I got.
Yeah. So Go Mecha Ball, the trailer for this looks absolutely crazy. I think the way I summed it up was if you ever played Marble Madness on the NES, so Marble Madness style element to it where you're rolling around in this tiny as a ball, and then you can pop out, bounce around, shoot other robots, and then go back into a ball, and there's like ramps and boosters that you can use to get around, so that it brings like the 3D platform element to it. It just looks absolutely crazy. The music seemed great as well. Seemed very fast-paced music to go with a fast-paced game. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to give this one a go when it comes to console in 2024. So
Yeah, I said it was a top-down Metroid, like a Metroid game, but it's more fast-paced and more artsy. But yeah, Marble Madness. It's like Marble Madness meets Metroid. Is what it is.
yeah,
Little Kitty, Big City. This will be a good game I can play with my daughter. You're a curious little cat with a big personality and adventure. On an adventure to find your way back home, explore the city, make friends with stray animals, wear delightful hats. Oh, she's in. And leave more than a little chaos in your wake. It's, as you have already stated, Sean, it is the indie Stray game, which I think Stray is an indie game, but just go with it, folks. Don't ask questions.
it's the Stray game that looks more indie than Stray did, because Stray looked very well polished.
That is true. That is a great way to say it. It's Stray for us sad Xbox folks that haven't heard any Stray news. There's that too. So there you go.
Yep. And then Harold Halibut is one of the 2 games that haven't got a date, but this is the one that I don't think we're going to see anytime soon. This is a Tribeca Games Spotlight game, and it's all handmade stop motion style graphics in a game. It's narrative driven, and it's all about friendship and life on a city-sized spaceship submerged in an alien ocean. And that's about as much as you get with the blurb. And the trailer that we saw in the showcase was focusing more about how the game was made and how the game will play in terms of the narrative side. But it is like a point and click game that has all been done by stop motion and clay figures.
Neon White is the last one for game now announced in this extended showcase to be on Game Pass. By the way, that's what we're going through here. To be disclosed, not sure on a date. This game is highly lauded by a lot of people, though, that played it on other platforms. It is a lightning fast first-person action game about exterminating demons in heaven. You are white an assassin handpicked from hell to compete with other demon slayers for a chance to live permanently in heaven. Always a good chance, right there. Best of luck to you, folks. Hope you win.
Yeah.
So those are the 13
at the end.
games. Go ahead.
At the end of this trailer, it showed for Steam and Switch that it was available now. So I'm highly expecting this to drop on Game Pass, like just shadow wise, and be like, oh, there it is.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So that's the extended showcase. And so you know what, Sean? It's funny, that is the extended showcase. It's funny you say that because I actually added a question here in the feature story for the exact purpose of what you have already mentioned. Are Xbox Game Pass upgrade bundles worth it? I don't know if you saw that, but I actually added it. So are you gonna do any of the? There's a Forza Motorsport one too, by the way, Mister. Mm-hmm. You gonna do that one?
I probably won't do the Forza Motorsport one. I've waited long enough for that game. I could probably wait a little bit longer. But with Starfield, probably will, because I'll have the old FOMO will come in because you'll be playing it and you'll be telling me how you've done this and how you've done that, how this is great, how this is amazing. But like the timing of when it comes out without having to buy it is great for me because the kids will have gone back to school, which kind of unlocks a little bit more time. So, is it the 6th? I can't remember what the actual date is for Starfield, which is bad because we're so excited for it. But it's the 12th of September.
No, it's the 6th. It's the 6th, so you can play it on the 1st. So it's dropping on a Wednesday.
Let me bring my calendar up very quickly, because this is how it'll work. 6th. So no, I probably wouldn't because the kids will go back to school that week on the 6th. Like by the 6th, they'll gone back to school, so I can really dedicate some time into playing it while they're all back at school. So no, I probably won't. But that's the only reason why is because I'll be spending £30 basically to not be able to play the game as much as I would anyway because the kids will be off.
So you get 5 days early access. But you do get the Shattered Space Story expansion as well. So remember, we did this for Forza, and we were like, well, that was dumb. We wasted all this money. But then all of a sudden, you were like, yeah, I've been playing and I'm loving it. The
Hot Wheels update.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't have that. I didn't pay for it. And you were like, I didn't either. And I was like, and then we figured out we did actually pay for it in the update we did. So you do get that. I don't know if that's worth it or not. And you get a bunch of skin packs, which I don't care about. And you get access to a digital art book, which I don't care about. But yeah, really, I'm doing it for 5 day early.
The digital art book, I don't know if you can turn on and say you wouldn't go over that, because if they're pretty nice looking backgrounds to have like on your desktop, then they're quite worth having if you can use them in that sense.
That's accurate. So you're doing this for how much? I forget. I think it's like 30. I think it's 30 something if I'm correct.
$31.99 in dollars, which will be like $27.99 in UK.
That's fine. Take your time, internet. Don't there's no reason. It's not like I'm asking you to do a lot here. It's not like you're uploading and downloading a bunch. Yeah, $31.49 with Game Pass. But think about this, Sean. It's funny, and I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't do it. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I'll probably do it, but it is interesting, right? So what have they done? And it's great, and I love it. And I as much as I love it, I hate it, but I'm gonna fall into it anyways. They're like, hey, it's free with Game Pass, but if you want it 5 days early, you can pay $30. And so it's like they have my Game Pass subscription, and they're probably gonna get $31 out of me too. It's fantastic, and I'm like, sure, why not? That's a $70 game that I'm getting for free, so I'll just pay $31 for it. I mean,
if they'd have took your credit card details on the day, they'd have been with you for like $350.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like my wife would have been like looking over the credit card statement. Oh man, I'd have been sleeping on the couch down here probably. So it's good they didn't ask for my credit card details at the time.
At least you could play your game 5 days early and have a really cool watch.
Oh, that's right. That's how it works. I am a sucker for these things. I did it for Hogwarts Legacy, although that one was I was already buying it, and so it was only $10 more. So it was like, man, why not? It's $10. I get to play it 3 days early.
if that's the thing, if it was like $15.99 would have been an okay price because that'd just cover the expansion pack that you're gonna get. I am not bothered about the skins whatsoever.
Yeah, me neither.
But the extent the story side of things, I don't know. I have to play the main story as well because am I gonna want DLC if the main story is just that huge and there's lots of side quests? I don't know. I don't know. So. But for me, it's the kids being at home.
Yeah.
My gaming time is during the day most of the time when they're not here, or late into the night, which I don't like doing a lot of because Lindsay's new job requires her to be leaving the house at 7:15. So regardless of what day it is, I have to get up early.
Can you get this for the S? Can you get the Constellation pack for the S? Oh yeah, okay, here it goes. Okay, for some reason I tried to load the S and it wouldn't load. But when I come here, it's only available for Xbox Series X. On it's available right now for Best Buy for Xbox Series X. Do you think they mean X and S?
I'd assume so because it's just a digital game.
But I mean, the thing specifically says Series X. And so does Walmart's. Walmart specifically says Xbox Series X is out of stock. Like, you think it would say S and X? Let's see if I go to standard. Yeah, standard says Xbox Series X too. I think they just aren't adding the S to it. Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering. You can currently get them on Amazon, by the way, if you want it. Close that out real quick. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth it or not, to be honest. It's 5 freaking days. I mean, it's probably not. I wonder how much they're going to sell the DLC for. That you're getting the Shattered DLC. Probably like what, $10 you think by itself? $15 maybe?
Maybe like between 10 to 15, yeah. Which is what makes me think that I'm not going to get much time to play the game. So it's pointless spending the £30. So spending the £15 later on down the line if I want the extended story, which I don't know how long the main story is going to be.
You might have talked me out of this by common sense and logic, which I don't use much. Oh
dear.
Yeah, you're probably right. I will have to pay attention to what we're doing too. So it's Labor Day for us. The 4th is Labor Day. So that day's out, and it depends on what we plan to do Labor Day weekend as to what can happen. Yeah.
This is what I mean. It's a parental responsibility. Parental responsibilities and family responsibilities get in the way of it. So
stupid freaking kids, I tell you, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if it was a week later, literally, if this was a week later and I could purchase for £30, purchase it and get it on the 6th when I know they'll all be back at school, then yeah, the trigger would have been pulled like now. I'd have been doing it while we're in the middle of recording this and be like, no, click,
yeah,
purchase.
So. Yeah, here's what's gonna happen though, Sean. There's gonna be like a Saturday. It's like Saturday or Sunday is gonna be free. I'm gonna have some time and I'll be like, I just gonna it's right here. I'm just gonna hit the button so I can play right now.
We have a saying on C shift at work, and it's top right, add to basket.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. So there you go. That's the extended showcase. Let us know if you are gonna buy this bundle. I am interested. What you guys think about this? Are you gonna buy this this bundle and play 5 days early, $35 American, I think it was, or not? So let's move into.
All I can say is, I'll go very, very quickly before I go to headlines. All I can say is they did a really good job with the Starfield Direct to get people's hype. We've got Acid TK in the chat that's like, I wasn't sure about this, but now I need to play this. And then you've just had me and you talking about this game for the last 15 minutes.
Yes.
Like, are we going to spend real money, even though we're getting it for free, to play this game 5 days early? So they've done a very, Xbox knew what they were doing with this game.
They definitely did. I think I hope they got, it sure seems like they have a banger on their hands. Game Pass headlines. Out since last episode, Sean, let's let's bounce back and forth. I'll start and then you go. June 1st, the big con. I have not had a chance to play this, but you can con your way through the 90s. Basically, figure out how to earn your scratch, and get to the finale of the game.
Yep. Cat Mechanic Simulator 2, that also came out June 1st. Sits there with Lawnmower Simulator, Power Wash Simulator. Basically, Cat Mechanic, you start off small, doing little jobs, and you can eventually earn higher earning jobs, getting different tools, larger garages, bigger jobs.
Sean, did you see the expert versus expert YouTube stuff? I have not actually watched any, but they basically took the car mechanic, the power wash simulator, and they took somebody who actually does the job and the person who plays it, and they like had them play together. It's I want to watch it, but I have not yet had time to actually get it done. So, but I thought it was a really smart idea. The moment I saw it, I was like, God, why didn't I think about doing something like that? Next on the list, I lost the list. I was looking at something else. Slayers X.
Slayers
X. Yeah, first person shooter that I quite frankly, I don't know. It looks okay. It's what did they say about it? So you got what it takes to be a slayer: weapons, blood, and gore, twisted music by people I don't know, and maps where you can blow up everything. There you go. That's Slayers X.
June. So these are June 6th. Amnesia: The Bunker. I've played one of the Amnesia games. It was very interesting, a little bit weird and a little bit dark, very puzzle solvy. But this one takes part in what looks like to be an old World War II style bunker where things are creeping around in the shadows. I wish I'd been able to give the other game a little bit more time, but the mechanics behind the gameplay I just didn't get on with, and I didn't fully understand what I was doing. So, but if you liked the first one, I'm pretty sure this one will match up to that.
Also out June 6th, making a return to the Game Pass library, Hypnospace Outlaw 90s internet simulator in which you scour the Hypnospace wide variety of weird and wonderful websites to hunt down wrongdoers while keeping an eye on your inbox to avoid viruses and adware. Basically, you do life, minus you trying to find people. So, there you go.
Yeah. Rune Factory Special 4. That was the 8th of June. Yes, or the 8th of June. Look at that. Guess that. I mean, this game, if you had a 3DS, you probably played this many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's an RPG style game. Originally ran, like I said, on the 3DS. It's now on there on the Nintendo Switch for the special remarks, the return of the game's story of season spin-off series that combines farming with dungeon adventuring.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love the Rune Factory. 5 waiting for 5 to come over here. But yeah, if you haven't played it and you like dungeon crawling and you like farming, then give this one a go. This one it's a good experience. Next, also June 8th, Stacking by Double Fine. Explore a vintage world inhabited by living Russian stacking dolls as you jump into more than 100 unique dolls and use their special abilities to solve puzzles. And then you get to say it. You get to say it, Sean. It just landed that way. Best of luck.
Yeah, I know how this sounds. Like before we started, I was like, I don't really want to say this because I can't. I'm just gonna kill it. But Dong.
I think it's Dordion.
D-O-G.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think it's
French.
Dordion.
I know when I've tried to Google it, it takes me to a French town, I'll say.
And that's and it's based in the French town. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you do that? Immerse yourself in a unique narrative experience, embarking on a vibrant journey that will awaken your senses and evoke warm memories. Play as Mimi, exploring the precious recollections of your childhood and the time shared with your late grandmother as past meets present. Confront your adult choices with fond childhood memories to uncover lost family secrets. The art style to this is very like, what like water paints
Mm-hmm.
kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah,
It's a very
watercolors for
pretty
sure.
looking game.
Mhm.
So
And that is out
that is
as of today,
now,
Tuesday. Yeah.
as of today, yeah, that was like literally the last thing since we last did an actual episode. That's like a lot of games that have dropped
It really is.
in
Now
the
the
space
interesting
of
thing,
a week
Sean,
and a
is
half.
coming next week and every week after that, well, except for what we've learned in the extended showcase, we don't have anything. The only thing that we know is coming out is what's in the extended showcase, which is June 22nd, the Bookwalker, and then July 18th, Tectonica. So really, the Bookwalker is the only thing that we have for this month. They always do this to us, Sean, in these showcases. We're like, oh, there's nothing after the showcase, and they're gonna show us all these things, and we're gonna be like, boom, and it's gonna be exploding. We're gonna have all these games to play, and there's a lot of games shown, and they're all fantastic, and they look great, and all that jazz. But it's like, what is coming for Game Pass
Was
between here and
Elder
whenever?
Scrolls Online, their new thing was coming June 22nd, I believe.
Okay,
But that's about it.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So in the next 2 weeks we have the Bookwalker and Elder Scrolls Online. Like why what's going what it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
There was games missing in the showcase and the extended showcase, like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Party Animals, and Vember. Like they're all quoted for early 2023 or spring 2023. We've had nothing about them, and we're well out of spring now. So Vember's missed the bus.
Which, by the way, that's a great point. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn was a pretty big game. They gave that a game a pretty good showing in the showcase last year, and it has been hush hush from what I've seen. I haven't heard. Now I have not kept up with the Summer Game Fest. To be fair, I've kind of been on a vacation, but I have not seen anything about Flintlock: Siege of Dawn. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that guy.
And then obviously the new games that have been announced for Game Pass, we've got everything that we just covered in the extended showcase, and then everything that was covered in the showcase on Sunday, which we talked about.
Yeah,
so
let's
like
not go over these. I wouldn't go over all of these, but is there anything you want to hit on? Like if you guys want to know more or you want to hear kind of our like immediate thoughts, then you can go to the special that we did. It'll have them all in there. Is there anything you want to hit on though in the showcase that you're like, oh, love to talk about this or talk about that or like?
I just want I want more information on that game. I want more trailers. I'd like early access if I could get that. I mean, if there was a code that we could ever get for that, that is the game I would like to have a code for this year.
Sure. I think yeah, I think the thing is that pretty much everything on this list is 2024. Like that, I guess, is or unknown. And that's not a problem. Like I said, I think there's enough to be played here this year, and that won't be a big problem. But I think the thing to remember, everything is 2024, except for the Overwatch edition and Payday 3, which is coming out at the stupidest time, like September 15th or something like that. Basically a week after Starfield. God bless you. If you're I mean, not everybody's gonna be a Starfield fan, and there's probably Payday fans, and that's great. But it just seems like if Payday would be coming in July, early July or middle July, that would be great. But coming when it's coming, it's just like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dust to settle.
Yeah,
we've had the summer showcase. We've had the whole, it's Gamers Christmas, is like I explained to somebody the other day. So, there's lots of games out there. There's lots of dates flying around. There's games that we've missed that haven't been mentioned that could still pop up just randomly. So there's a lot of dust to settle. I think over the next 7 days is going to be like a bit of a fallout of allow the dust to settle, and then we'll drop this game. We'll say this is coming out, and we'll surprise people with this.
Yeah, I think on Thursday or probably Thursday. I think on Thursday we are going to see Xbox come out and say with one of those things, Twitter. They're gonna puke out one of those like coming to Game Pass real soon, and it's gonna have games that slot for June, for the rest of June. Because right now we don't have anything, and it's very abnormal that we sit without anything, without any current thing coming to Game Pass. I mean, not any. We do have things in like 10 days, but that's one thing, and that's not normally how. Normally, you have a couple of drops a week. So
yeah. So just keep your eyes peeled to our Twitter page. We'll obviously be retweeting or doing some form of acknowledgement for everything that's going to come out as and when they announce it.
yep, for sure. And when I surprisingly open my Starfield controller and I'm like shocked, I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I plan to do an unboxing because I think as a podcaster who has a YouTube page, I'm contractually obligated to do one. I'm fairly certain.
And especially when it's around what could possibly be Bethesda's biggest or least buggiest game ever.
Yeah, that's true. That's what they said. This game is if it dropped right now, this game would have less bugs than any other Bethesda game ever dropped. That's what an Xbox exec said. And I don't know. I know that bar is a little low, but I'm gonna take that and be excited for it until somebody pops my balloon.
Games leaving this week. We have some June 15th. Bridge construction from Portal, Chorus, Maneater, Mortal Shell, Serious Sam 4, and Total War 3 Kingdoms. We talked about these games a lot more in a previous episode. They will be leaving June 15th. And then there'll obviously be more leaving after that. So by the time you listen to this as a podcast, you'll have missed those games, but we are very sorry. We tell you in weeks in advance. So
Yeah. Twitter. Watch our Twitter, man. We drop it right when we know. We'll drop it on Twitter when it's coming. We'll also let you know the day of. Be like, hey, listen, last chance, 20% off. Get it now or lose it forever.
Yep. Games of Gold is Adios and the Veil of Shadow of the Crown. Talked about those previous. The other two games have disappeared. I believe this week because Nick's been away and I've just been playing so much Zelda, my eyes are bleeding. We are skipping the dashboard for this week, but we do have a last-minute question from Mr. Jean Blanco. So if you want to take us into party chat, and I'll pull that question.
Sure, off the party chat we go.
It's party time! Woohoo! Oh yeah!
I just love that music. Man, this one's this is hot off the press. I have no idea what this question's about to be.
Yeah. So it says last second question. You each gave the Xbox presentation a 7 out of 10 after a recent controversial review, Redfall. So now I have to ask, which was better, the Xbox presentation or Redfall?
That's fair. We gave them both. I was at a 7 or an 8 for Redfall, and I did give this a 7 out of 10. That's true.
Yeah, and somebody's reacted. I don't know who's reacted to this. It was Hambo and Johnny. Oh no, Hoots has reacted to this with a smiling face, like crying, smiling face emoji. So
yeah, that's fair.
Obviously the Xbox presentation for me was a lot better on a whole. Today there was a Austin Powers moment there. Operation H was good on the whole. But yeah, the Xbox presentation was better on a whole, which is for the 7 out of 10. In the special episode, we kind of rated it, which is nice. Thank you for listening to the special episode, John, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Redfall got the 7 out of 10 because it missed the bus on a couple of things. Not being 60 frames a second, there was some graphical issues in terms of some of the characters sometimes appeared 5 or 6 times in the same place doing different things. But it scored quite high because the gameplay was a lot of fun. It was very different, something I hadn't played before. The online playing between us, which we did off the bat on the first day it came out, was great. Worked with absolutely zero issues. I have since gone back to the game and continue to play it, and I'm still sit there and think, wow, this game is huge. There's lots to do to it. With the expansion of the second town and the huge second map that you could do, there was a lot to it. So that's why I got the 7 out of 10. But the presentation was like Xbox has delivered this year. It was fantastic. Lots of big games there, lots of stuff to be hyped about. The Starfield Direct was just absolutely mental. And took the hype level from like reasonably hyped because of the dialogue to fuck the dialogue. I'm playing this game anyway. So yeah, the Xbox presentation against Redfall is two completely different comparisons, but yeah, I'd stick to my
I mean, yeah, it's
scoring for both.
So the question was, which one was better? Is that correct? That was the boiled down question. Did I get that right?
Yeah,
Okay. The presentation was better. But let me by far. But I understand I did rate them the same to both, so that's a fair question. Here's my problem. These games look freaking amazing. Okay, I mean like Fable, South of Midnight, 33 Immortals. I actually probably will try Payday 3. Not really amazed. Avowed looks awesome. Microsoft Flight Simulator, if there's a career mode and I got actually something to do in direction, I can't tell you how much I'm in. Hellblade 2, let's go. I don't remember what Path of the Goddess is, or I don't care. Persona 2, Ant. Still, no, I don't care about the game either. Dungeons of Hinterberg, City Skylines 2, won't play it because it's too crazy and in depth, but it looks amazing. Towerborn and Clockwork Revolution. I think I just named like 80% of the games. They look great. They show great, and then Starfield was amazing. But so it looked absolutely amazing. But here's the problem: all these games are slated for a 2024 floaty date of like 2024, and that's why it got a 7 out of 10 for me, to be honest, because it's like, well, listen, and on top of that, Xbox has lost my trust with dates. And I think they're trying to gain it back, being like, listen, we won't give you a date. We'll just say 2024. If these games, I don't even know if I want all these games to hit 2024, to be honest. But if these games hit 2024 and they come out as good to great games, then Xbox will start to earn my trust back. And then I will look at their showcase and mark it as such. But right now, the problem, and I've said this in our podcast before, right now the problem is Xbox does not have my trust anymore. There have been too many missed dates by way too far, dates that not only have been missed, but you can tell by how many times they've said that's coming out this date, and then seconds later they changed it by a year. That I know that they never thought that game was coming out that day. Ever did they think that game was coming out that day. They wanted to splash on a showcase, so they, just to be blunt, lied about it, and then decided a month later to tweet out that it was gonna be kicked back a while, so or a long while, months to year. So for all those reasons, they have lost my trust to be able to make these dates, and so for that. They get a 7 out of 10 because they're giving me loose 2024s. I don't trust that they're going to hit them. These games do show very, very well. I am excited for what they say they're going to have, but I need to see a year where they show me the shit that they say they're going to have, and they show good to great games when they actually do show it. That's a fact. And so, yeah, to be honest, they kind of had like a base, like knockoff of points. I don't know if that's fair. Hell, I'm not really a reviewer, so it doesn't matter. But that's the fact. Like, I don't know if they could have got more than an 8 out of me, John. To be honest, I just don't know, because I am a little jaded with them, and they have lost some of my trust. I mean, so jaded that a couple episodes ago I said Starfield needs to hit, or even as an Xbox podcaster, I don't know if I'm still going to be an Xbox player. So, here's what that's the fact. I am a little jaded with them, and an 8's probably about the best they could have got because they've lost my trust. I'm done. I'm going to step off my soapbox and stop talking.
I mean, if you follow, if you've just started listening, so like say this is your first podcast that you listen to us, or you've only started listening like 4 or 5 episodes ago, and you haven't gone back and listened to how things started. When we first started doing the show, we were moaning and groping about like how there was like we went through her horrible dry spell of not having games that were coming out, or the games that were coming out, the two big ones, Halo and Forza Motorsport 5, but they dropped right next to each other. So we were like inundated with two big games that we wanted to play. We kind of like went from having nothing to having loads of stuff, to then having a showcase which showed us a lot of really cool stuff, and we got really excited for it, like Redfall being one of them, There's a load of other games in there that were involved. We're still yet to see some of those games. Silksong being one of them, which they've now pushed back again till 2024, which is a huge step back, considering that we saw some great gameplay footage of that. So I'm the same as Nick. Like, Xbox have really damaged my the level of my expectation with stuff. So I score the showcase like Nick has. Xbox have got to come out and deliver great games in good time, hit the mark, and make it be good at it. Like, I'm worried about Starfield to an extent that this has been pushed back so long, and we've had this massive hype. I'm still treading into this with some kind of like being very what's the word? I'm trudging carefully with it. It's like, is this game gonna be as good as they have said it's gonna be? Because we've waited so long for it. I mean, Redfall, we were excited for, came. There was a couple of things before, issues, which didn't transpire. So if they hadn't have pre-warned us about the issues that we're going to have with Redfall when it came out, it would have been scored a lot less, because it had come out, not looking as good as it did in the showcase that they showed us. But they kind of give us a bit of pre-warning, which kind of soaked up some of the scoring on it, because they gave this big pre-warning. It got a lot of negativity and still ran really well. But yeah, so
Yeah.
two different things. Very difficult to try and say the reasoning behind the scoring of them. But I'm hoping that we've kind of gone around the house and done it.
Yeah, and I still stand by my 7 or 8 for Redfall. I think there is a good game there, that I don't disagree that some people were seeing some issues. I can tell you I did not play it a ton, but for the 6 or 7 hours that I put into that game, I did not run into the issues that they were talking about. I think it was fun for podcasters to just shit on a game that everybody was doing that for. And I think it's funny because the moment that Starfield's kind of like right now has, as I said, has presented so well that people are kind of like, wow, this game looks good. And so you don't hear the like, oh, only 30 frames a second, but that's all you heard with Redfall. So I don't know. So I still stand by my Redfall thing, but that's the reason that the showcase got what it got.
Just very quickly, the other thing with Starfield is 30 frames a second lock. Super cool watch. 30 frames a second lock. Super cool watch. They've kind of done the old woo. Look at this shiny thing. Don't look at that. Look at this shiny thing.
I mean, I wouldn't even say, I do agree, but I think that's exactly it. It showed well. I wouldn't even say the watch. They just showed you the direct. They showed you the direct and they said, look at this. Look at all the stuff you can do. I mean, I know some people are kind of like, hey, I'm not interested in that, and that's fine. Like, that no big deal. I am a little nervous only of like, I think Flight Simulator's cool, but I get a little like, okay, I'm done with this because there's no story. Like, that's kind of why I'm interested in Flight Simulator 2024. Is there going to be a career mode that I can? It's kind of like a somewhat story that I can project myself into the game, because otherwise I get lost and then I kind of just go do something else. My real fear with Starfield is that there isn't going to be a story to at least direct me somewhat. Just like with Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, there's a story. And it's enough to like be like, okay, I got to do these things. Sure, I might do 50 things before I get that one thing done, but at least I have a story. I would love to see, like, is there enough of a story there to kind of guide me at least a little bit through? Yeah, maybe I'll go to 100 planets before I do the next objective. But if there is an objective that keeps me on a track and I at least feel like I have something. If they're just like, hey, go explore this world, there's 1,000 planets, have fun. That could be a problem. That really could, for me personally.
So anyway, and I think with the end that we've kind of strayed away from the original question. But thank you very much, John.
Definitely did.
Definitely. But thanks very much, John, for the last minute question, and thank you again for listening to the special episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And with that, I'm gonna take us straight out of the show. We've been on for over an hour and a half. It's nearly 1 a.m. in the UK, and I'm tired. So thank you everyone for listening. If you want to get in touch with us via any of our social media outlets, you can do Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Everything is at Game Pass News. You can chuck us an email over to gamepassnewscast@gmail.com. Chat with us there, give us any recommendations, or ask us for any information about any of the games that are coming out soon. You can review via your podcasting app that you're listening to us via, which would be great. If you want to take part in this month's contest, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel, which will get you 5 additional entries as well as following for 1 entry. But also you get access to the Discord where you can find me and Nick sitting and chatting about all kinds of different stuff and usually defending ourselves against John. If you want any of our cool merchandise, you can do so by heading over to redbubble.com, search for the shop for Game Pass News. Thanks very much for Acid TKO, Free, Bruce, and Hambo and Johnny for jumping in the chat. And until next time, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.